this podium and speak in front of everyone, so we all know who's talking. Make sure your beacon is on, so we know what's going on as well. Because not everyone has
Have
Discord
so much
overlay.
experience with that. Oh, I hate that
Aside
so much.
from that, if I remember correctly, I think Calm was the first leader to be here. So we'll start with their concerns first. You can come up here. Whatever you want to address, you can address. It could be of any kind, of any topic. Kind of, like, hey, I don't like that faction X is being, N
That's
or.
precisely what I was going to say. Well, welcome, leaders and not leaders of the world. I suggest we all go on a crusade against RNG. Not welcome Rush, by the way. You are excluded. RNG is indiscriminately attacking people, and I suggest that they have their brains smacked out as soon as possible. I am willing to lead a coalition of forces to do that, but I will also do it on my own if nobody wants to sign up for that. But I'm pretty sure almost everyone has been attacked so far, so you might be interested. I don't know. That, I think, is all. Well, I would like to advertise rally stuff if you are interested or you have ideas that you would like to implement. There's a Discord for that. That's also if you just have ideas that you think should be implemented, not if you want to participate. Yes, shameless plug. I do that. I don't think I have anything else to say, so I'll go back.
Perfect. So, who's in favor of actually nuking and genociding RNG?
Me.
No.
No,
Type shit. I'm about
absolutely
to
not.
crash road into the
Is
tree.
there, is there an emote that we can vote with?
Shall we have like a yay or nay system?
It's not necessarily a vote. Like, you don't have to do it if you don't want to. It kind of sets the tone of how we feel about RNG. So consider this like a big denouncement against RNG by the international community.
Top does not see RNG as a threat.
There we go.
Oh, it's not
Death
that
to
we
the
don't
terrorists.
see top.
I
It's
I
not
did
that we
not
don't
say
see
threat.
It's
Oh,
not
he's
that we
saying
don't
top.
see RNG as a threat. They are a threat, obviously, but here's the thing. If we want to go fight somebody, that's the perfect person to go fight. So, would it make sense to wipe them off the face of the earth?
Yeah,
Alright, my bad.
because they
alright.
indiscriminately attack you and you cannot control when they attack. Therefore, they may show up in an inopportune moment, such as when your defenses don't target their plane and you are launching a rocket. That sort of thing. Rush said that my defenses were targeting him. I don't know what was going on there. To me, it looked like nothing was shooting. I don't know. In any
was
case,
out of
there
range
are
of you.
moments where they can do, or he can do, massive damage, even to highly defended locations like my base. I don't know, while I'm somewhere else, he could wipe out my mines. I'd rather have the threat under control, you know? The turrets not targeting thing is a very specific incident, is that what you're saying? Because that was something that happened last iteration too, and it seemed quite frequent last iteration. This was the first time I saw it this iteration, but I don't know, this was the first time I was shooting at Rush. Outrageous. Yeah, he has third person. That is outrageous. I agree.
If it would please Sir Kaiwea, I would like to go next just to give my opening statements because I do have to go AFK for a moment in time.
All right, we'll do that.
All right.
So, I actually don't
Pictures
What
of
the concerns are.
later taking pictures.
I like that.
I am just setting my hotbar. Give me a minute.
Lord Phoenix, President Gemini Sierra, members of the House of the Socialist Republic, thank you all for convening here on this day. So far, I have written a few things down. I would like to address at some point in this meeting the attacks perpetrated by TOP on our territories, including the raiding of the naval base in Hilave Cove, the capturing of the Pupu Cow ferry ship, and the outright assault on James R. Duke Aonoya International Airport. Second thing I would also like to talk about at some point, probably after TOP leaves, as it directly relates to OSR and no one else, is the voting in of a new leader for the OSR. Right now, the duties have just been split between me, Kai, and Schleim. That is something that I would like to, fix. And then another thing that I was wanting to maybe implement, just as a general rule of law, is all declarations of war must be given an hour before any attacks that occur. That's basically all I have. If TOP would like to, if Lord Phoenix would like to come up here, he can talk and do whatever. But I gotta go AFK. So.
Okay. So 1 hour grace period for war. All right, that's a fair point.
I would like to make a quick
I like
statement.
that. I like that.
You have that holographic table there that is actually covering up the bottom line for me.
Oh, oops.
Yeah, I don't know. There might be some things
Do you need
that
like a
could
phone book to sit on or something?
Yeah, that would be nice. Do you have some of those?
I think it's a different FOV and resolution stuff because I was able to see it just fine, but that's fair.
That's
I'll
weird.
fix that for the next meeting.
You need one of those big 5x5 LCDs up in the back there.
Yeah, I might do that instead of having all windows. One of them could be a screen. Well, that's something to do for next time. So, in terms of the 1 hour grace period before war, what does everyone think about that?
I think it's fair.
I like that.
Sounds
I-
goofy.
I think that should only apply to a main base, but I don't support it either way.
Okay.
I like the idea, and I'm canon, so.
Yep, fair enough.
So
In
I'll-
principle, I like the idea. 1 hour also does sound like a good time period.
Grace period, yes. Yes.
So top and column are both in favor of it.
Yes.
Yes.
If the three members of the B3 approve, it goes into action. So since it was
Roach is AFK.
yes, well since Roach was the one that suggested it, I think it's fair to say he's in favor of it. So we're gonna say that is a go.
For any target at all?
I would say this is like general declarations of war, from what I understood. So like,
I would limit it to stations. So if you see a plane or something and you want to shoot it, that's one thing. But attacking a mine, a base, should be
I think war-
preceded by that period.
I think war in general should be an hour to clear.
Well, full-on war. Yes,
If a
but
plane is flying in your territory without permission, by all means shoot it down. But
no,
Oh,
if
yeah.
war has not been declared, I wouldn't go over and shoot down planes at their enemy base or something, or in enemy territory.
Yeah, no, I mean, say you meet a ship in neutral territory, then you can't just go, oh, I want to sink that ship, let me declare war, and then wait an hour, right?
What if
Yeah.
you're already at war with somebody?
I think this is fair to say it's probably best that it is for static grids. So like someone's HQ. I think it would be best if we limited it to 1 hour grace period before firing upon like static buildings, whether it be the
Yeah.
HQ or otherwise. Whereas other targets like large grids or small grids, I think it's fair to say those would be skirmishes if you're fighting outside of a war period. And I think that should not apply. So someone flying over your territory, a ship that's getting too close, I think that should be open season. It's up to you guys to determine if that would be an act of war or not and go from there. But in terms of actually attacking the base, I think it's fair to say 1 hour.
I agree. And
I-
I would also like
I-
to.
Cannon, go ahead.
So I agree with the whole like on the HQ, yeah, the 1 hour grace period declaring war. I think if you want to attack someone's headquarters, it has to be a 1 hour grace period because not everybody has stuff to attack. So if they only have a headquarters, then well, that's what people are going to attack if they want to attack. As far as grids being, ships, planes, rovers being anywhere, if it's in your territory, I feel like that should be open season if someone comes into your territory. If you want to go over to someone else's territory and attack grids, that's completely fine too. Call that a skirmish. But I do want to let it be known that you can't just go over to someone's territory and attack shit and then just not expect a worse fucking like shit, what's it called? Damn.
Scenario. Worst case scenario.
Yeah, responsibility for your actions. Yeah, like worst case scenario, you're probably gonna get hit back twice as hard. Maybe. Don't complain if that happens. That's all I'm saying.
I think that's a fair point.
Like if Tad attacks Pro and then Pro comes back twice as hard and absolutely just spanks Tad, that's that's to be expected.
Yes, I agree. That's sort of in line with what I was going to say. If someone declares war on you, I think you should be able to immediately strike against them.
I would have to.
You're the
disagree. I
defending
feel like-
party, and you can make a sort of quick reaction attack.
Well, yeah. So if you are on the defense, I feel like that is fair. But
Well,
like,
then
having
nobody-
someone, if you're declaring war while in a battleship on your like outside of the base, or the capital city of that person, and you just start bombarding them, that kind of sucks. That's not an
Yeah.
enjoyable experience for anybody.
But here's the thing: if you want to declare war, if you want to say, all right, when war is declared, a 1 hour grace period should be given, then that goes both ways. I'm not going to declare war on somebody and then wait for them to come to me if I'm declaring war on them. There'll be a 1 hour grace period for both sides. Do anything. Prepare yourself, defend yourself.
I disagree with that. Because you could build up forces on a stationary grid, which would mean that can't be attacked during the grace period. And you could set up an outpost 5 kilometers from their HQ and stage your forces there. And if they are allowed to attack you during the grace period, then you can't do that because they can attack your forces or your HQ. You need to be in 2 places at once. At least it's fairly difficult for you, right? That's
So what you mean to tell me is if somebody was to declare war on you, you can go over and attack them, but they can't do anything. Do you
on
see
that
your
first
your-
hour, yes.
That's not no. If 1 hour should go both ways. And
Okay,
if
so you are saying that I could drive up to your base while you're offline, 3 kilometers away, set up an outpost, and place like 30 rovers there, 30 combat vehicles. And then I
Okay.
declare war on you, and you are not allowed to do anything about those 30 rovers or do anything to force me to go somewhere else, do something else.
No, the hour should be for main bases only. Anything
Lane
else,
based.
main
We
base
said
only.
stationary grids, so
What main base only? Like, because if Roach is chilling, all right, and he's got all of his doors open, and it's a nice day, and he's shirt off, welding in the sun, and then all of a sudden I declare war, and 5 seconds later, all of a sudden everything's getting fucking bombed. He's not gonna be happy.
I
But
don't think anyone would be happy.
yeah, but if I declare war on Roach, he's got a door to prepare himself in his base. got an hour, and then but he can't attack me on my main base for an hour either. So if
I'd
he
have
wants
to agree with that, yeah.
but if he
Okay.
wants to build a fortress a kilometer away from my base, it's open season on that fortress. But not his main base, not for an hour. I think
I think that a good rule of thumb in general is to not immediately declare war and then attack a capital city regardless. I feel like that main bases in capital cities should be left alone during wars unless it is the last resort for any other attack.
yeah. And honestly,
Yeah.
personally, I think that any outpost should be attacked before the main base is attacked. I've suggested that before. That way, it would give people incentive to build forts in order as a means of protection against an attack. That way, if I was to declare war on Roach, I can't attack his main base because I have to attack this fort first.
Yeah, capital city attacks are never a reasonable option in most cases. I feel like the
But
only time capital city attacks occur is when an overwhelming force is attempting to overpower or take over another country.
If we're at war and you've got nothing but your main base, then I mean, like if
That
you
would
want
be
to,
understandable. Yeah,
Yeah.
if I had absolutely nothing, cough cough rush, and we
Well-
declare war on you, then
Yeah.
if all you have is a main base, that's all we can attack. Therefore, that is all we can,
Yeah.
that is the main place of war.
and I just also want to point out that these are player-made rules. So if Rush doesn't want to comply with, he doesn't have to.
He doesn't. No, he doesn't have to. Just, I mean, I don't expect him to. He's a terrorist organization. I don't even know why he's here.
Yeah,
he's-
I
he's
was.
the- he's
That is a
the
very
leader-
good question. Why
he's
is he
the
here?
leader of a terrorist cell, so I don't know why he's here to begin with.
Who's this multi-dollar company that's colluding with them then?
Yeah, I wonder who that is.
Everyone that's in this chamber right now is considered a legitimate leader until they leave. It's still a faction on the faction list, therefore they're legitimate in the views of the BSR, even if what they're doing might not align with our values or be against our interests. They're still a leader of a faction, and we should respect them for that.
And no clue.
The only people
But-
that have
Yeah.
the only people that have colluded with this terrorist organization, okay, is Roach. You have asked them for help. Taco's asked them for help when he was with SEC and when he was with Pro.
Hold
So-
on, objection. When did I ever request help from Rush?
You said it
I
would be
said-
really
yes,
convenient.
I said it
Roach.
would be really funny if you attacked Top right now. I wasn't asking him for assistance. I was saying that would be funny.
You were asking. That's basically you asking for us.
Basically, doesn't
Okay,
fly.
okay.
That's
This-
not
this-
that's not a reasonable response.
A debate or an argument. This has nothing to do with the 1 hour grace period. We should get back on track. So for the 1 hour grace period, are we all agreeing that it's only for HQs and it goes both ways?
Yes.
I would add mines, HQ, and economic outposts
Economic
Nope.
output is in
within
mind.
your own territory.
I could agree with that. Yeah. If
Nope.
mining operations and main bases.
I'd like to hear what Phoenix has to say on the matter.
To be fair, main bases should not be attacked for the 1 hour period. I agree with that part. Mining outposts and stuff are relatively, if I would say, not very, not armed usually, I would think. Some might be. To be fair, I would agree with that, to be honest, that any static grid, probably a base of any kind, would be on 1 hour grace period at the beginning of the war. Any vehicles flying out and about, though, I would say probably fair game.
All right. So from what it sounds like, 2 of the B3 members are in favor of having all static grids. Because at the end of the day, when
All
you're talking
static
like-
grids within your own
Territory, yeah, within your own territory.
Okay. Sounds good. I'm just gonna put that in here. Because
I would just see. I don't think all static grids within your territory is a valid.
and that's
right.
and that's
Keep-
fine.
keep
but
in mind-
unfortunately-
Keep in mind that if we say all grids within your territory, that just means you have to declare war an hour early. It doesn't mean that you can't attack them or anything. You just
That
have
is
to wait
true.
an hour.
That is true.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I
I
agree
mean,
with that.
yes.
you can-
Chancellor Nguyen, do you have anything to add there? Nguyen, you, buddy.
No, I absolutely do not. Well, maybe civilian buildings too, but
Civilian buildings should never be targeted during a war. That's
kind of. Yeah.
humanitarian law times 10.
Actually, with that in mind, we'll make that another subject. So the targeting of civilian buildings. So, like for example, in the BSR, this entire building that we're standing on right now is technically civilian. It's only armed because it's the only thing I have. Is planning to remove all the armament after I have a military base set up. Would you guys agree that civilian targets should be a frowned upon or a legal target in the convention?
I would disagree. If it is a civilian target, if it is owned by a civilian company or just civilian population, it should be excluded as a target.
And
Well,
how do
Unless
we
it
work
has any military value.
in terms of civilian, are we all going to agree to define that as unarmed and in an RP sense, being that for civilian use or for a company and not for like the nation or faction's military?
Well, here's the
Yes.
problem.
I think
I
think civilian should include no refineries, no assemblers.
Okay,
No,
that's fair.
no.
I would say no guns too. No guns, no armament.
I would
Oh,
say,
obviously no guns,
I
yes,
would
sorry,
disagree.
I
I would say civilian exclusively is defined as an unarmed grid. Like if
I
it has
disagree.
no armament whatsoever, then it should be considered civilian, regardless if it has the
disagree.
capability of producing any material.
I
That
Define
should not be
armament, because there are inert rockets, there are kinetic missiles that can smack planes pretty hard. Is that an armament? Is
is an armament,
anything
yes.
with a printer therefore armed?
No. If
If
there if
so-
there's
have a
if there's
vehicle
something
that
armed there, if
gun.
there's something armed there, then yes. If you have
No,
beyond a
no.
reasonable
What I'm
doubt, if
saying
there's-
is
if
any
beyond a
printer
reasonable
can
doubt,
be
if
a
there's
missile
something there.
launcher.
Okay. Admin Kai's going to step in for a second. Generally speaking, kinetic weaponry, where it's just a big stick that you fly at someone, is kind of considered meta. So that's not really a concern on the server. Because someone breaking that rule will be breaking a server rule and not the player conventions.
Okay.
Yeah.
In that case, you still have warhead armed missiles that could be printed in an instant.
Yep.
Being on the grid.
Again, but it's
And
again,
any
that has
printer could
nothing-
be
that is-
used to start military, though. So essentially, what I'm saying is, if I hit someone like Rush, whose base is, as far as I can tell, at least on the exterior, unarmed. The interior is a different matter, but let's just say, hypothetically, he completely disarms his base because he wants that protection. Which, let's just make that a hypothetical. His weapons are printed in, he said 60 seconds. Am I not allowed to attack that printer? So
That's
long
a
as
fair
none
point.
I
of
would
those
say yes, you
weapons
wouldn't be
are
allowed to
stored.
attack that. It's not a matter of
This is
if.
the
It's
problem.
not a
That
matter of
printer is the
hypotheticals,
only
it's not a
military
matter of
target he
hypotheticals,
has.
It's a matter of if there is an actual
Some random new
threat
person
there.
just joined.
Yeah,
You're like,
but
"What's going
that
on?"
printer is the
Oh my
only
God.
military installation he needs to threaten my base.
No,
It is literally
it
the
doesn't- they
target
don't-
of my attack. That printer.
They do not exist. But if the actual military asset does not exist, then it should not be targeted. A printer does
Yeah,
not
but
count as a
I
military.
do. My
doesn't
point
count
is
as a-
that that printer is a military asset.
No, because you can
No,
print
it's
out
not.
an unarmed thing via a printer.
So a vehicle that can
its
transport
sole
shit and
purpose-
has a lot of guns on it is civilian because it can do civilian things.
No.
Is that your
it's-
argument?
No. What? What are you talking about? No.
You
If
said
something-
if a printer
if-
can print out an unarmed thing, it's not what? Like
Okay.
that.
The sole
Any
purpose
printer
of a
is
printer
clearly
is not
usable.
the sole purpose of a printer is not to print out military weapons. Therefore, it
Yes.
is not considered a military target.
So
You can
again,
strap
a
you can strap a
vehicle-
50 cal to the back of a Toyota Helix. That doesn't make
Yes.
it. That doesn't make all Toyota Helixes armed.
No, that's not what I'm saying. But you are basically saying the missile launch vehicle is not a military vehicle. Only the missile is. And so long as the missile isn't loaded onto the vehicle cannot be attacked.
None of what you just said relates to my statement.
It does.
It doesn't.
He is
The-
using
the
that
printer-
printer
the
as a
printer-
launch ramp, essentially.
If he is threatening to use that printer to print out military weapons, then sure, I would say yeah, that would make sense. But if there are no threats to you from that printer whatsoever, and you attack it out of malice, that should be considered a breach of international humanitarian law.
Okay, yeah, that's a completely different matter. That
I'd
is
say factories
basically
in
what I'm
general do
arguing.
not have
That
any civilian value. It's military if it's a factory. Because it has the ability to make.
I would like to make
What?
I'd like to actually hear from Phoenix before anyone else, because at the end of the day, it's the B3 that matters most in these conventions, since they're the big three.
Okay, as a Prima faction does have the best views as my admiral, as well. But I would like to also state with my with the current topic of hand, if we roll back around to understandably, yes, his printer could be used to print off weapons. But at the same time, if he has no weapons attached to his base, we could always go back to the rule of earlier of declaring war. It technically he'd be his only base still,
yeah.
and he
I
has
don't
already
follow.
declared war on
But-
everyone.
We are currently talking about adding permanent protection to civilian structures, not just enforcing a declaration of war. So this does still change things compared to what we were talking about earlier.
Perhaps we
I
could
would
put
like-
a hold on this topic and then.
Yeah. Civilian
I
as
would-
targets or not, we're gonna hold that off until another convention. There's a lot that we need to clear up about this.
I would like one statement about it.
Yeah.
A vehicle that is capable of creating a weapon or has a weapon is not a civilian vehicle. It is a military vehicle. Also, I feel like in order to just make sure that civilian vehicles are not targeted by mistake by AI turrets, I feel like somebody should have a beacon on said vehicle that specifically states that it is a civilian vehicle. If you now, I also feel like if you have a military vehicle and you fuck around and say this is a civilian vehicle, that should also be a violation of the Belgrade Convention, whatever the hell we're putting together.
I think it's fair, like in the sense of like a vehicle that's very easy to define. We're more concerned about how we define civilian in terms of a static grid, mainly the use of printers. So with a vehicle, I think it's fair to say if you have it labeled as civilian and it's unarmed, I'm kind of speaking on behalf of a lot of people here, but I think that's pretty fair. I don't know what you guys think, but that sounds fair to me.
Right, remember what I said? I just said any vehicle that is capable of producing weapons. A printer is always, at all times, capable of producing weapons.
Okay, that is true. I guess a vehicle could also have a printer. I was thinking more along the lines of only static. Well, we'll put a hold on that entire topic for now because no one can come to an agreement on that. I'm going to give Pato the floor since he has something he wants to say and his time is shorter than ours right now. So I'm going to have to break the convention of having the B3 speak first just to give him some time to say his thing. He's
All
typing.
right. Yes,
Oh,
yes,
fucking idiot.
we know this.
Yes, we are aware.
You're trying. I'm just. I was expecting words.
almost hear the typing.
The silence is, yeah.
Suspense.
I don't think I've heard it be this quiet.
Shit.
What the
Holy crap!
Oh my god!
Holy crap!
Candid, I'm surprised you didn't get up and do something about that.
Have incoming fire from an aircraft?
Come on, Ken, you're supposed to be my security guard. What happened?
Come on, let's go. Let's go. We gotta
Let's
get you
rush,
out of here.
rush. Get out of here. All Fiona assets retreat.
Wait, what the hell is going on?
Yeet!
Let's go to the Tad.
Wait, where's the helicopter at?
Here, hey,
Hey, come
Nikki,
jet-
go, Nikki, go ahead and bring the APC back. Where's the R-15 parked, too?
It's in the way back, but I don't know how I'm gonna get home.
Am I flying or you flying?
You can take the APC, take the APC. Do not turn on the turret. The APC's right there. Where's the R-15?
I,
Was not expecting that at all.
yeah, that was.
Come on,
funny.
get hop in!
R-15 here.
It's all the way behind the.
I can't activate.
RNG, keep your distance.